Today's world, as we know it, is marked by depravity, chaos, and destruction. For proof of this, one need look no further than the place beyond the pines, Schenectady, New York. For within the confines of this city, there exists a man who is marked by his eccentricity. I have searched for this man, and the residents of this area, an area that possesses much character to complement its depravity, have told me to follow the path of destruction. It is said that this man was born out of destruction, and those around him, those who become familiar with him, cannot help but follow his unique lifestyle. For whether or not you like him, whether or not you agree with what he says or what he does, or whether or not you find him offensive, the fact of the matter is that no matter what your perspective is, you cannot doubt the fact that Rayford Faulkner is in fact a legend. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me, Rayford. You're a hard man to track down.
Sure, and yes.
And if you don't mind, I have some questions prepared. I've heard some things about you, I've seen your show, but I feel like as if I had to meet the man in person to get the truth. Put a face to a name. Rayford, tell me about darkness. What does it mean to you and in your life?
Well, it's something I've known all my life. Walking in darkness, you know, and there's a lot of existence that has no sunshine.
Would you say you were born of this darkness?
Well, you know, I wouldn't call it darkness. I would call it truth, and I would call it, I guess, could be tragedy.
Do you ever foresee any sunshine in the life of the legend Rayford Faulkner in the near or distant future?
No. But I try to make it happen, but others try to not make it happen.
When you say that you are a legend, does that mean that you are more than a man? Or are you human? Or do you feel human?
I am an animal. Unfortunately, I guess you could say I'm a half human, but for the most part, I am an animal.
Now, humans are in fact animals. What kind of animal are you? Are you primal? Are you domesticated? Are you sophisticated, civilized? Is there any kind of...
A mixture of all the above.
I understand.
I'm primal because I'm mean, I'm wild like a lion. I'm sophisticated because I've got class and style. And domesticated, yeah, I have to learn to be calm around stupid people, you know, in various situations.
Do you consider yourself to be a part of this society? Or are you an outsider? Why or why not?
I'm very much an outsider. And why? Because I'm very different than others.
Now, what is it that makes you different? Did you make yourself different? Where did this rage come from, Rayford? Where did it come from? Did it originate in you? Was it a part of your upbringing? Or is it from some outside force that speaks to you?
It was put on me by lousy society. I am a social outlaw. Got it?
Would it be safe to say that, in essence, you're sort of a forgotten child of this society? A child of God that is cast out?
I'm not a child of the society, but God is the only thing that looks out for me, and well, I do believe in God, but God needs to do a better job of looking out for me.
Do you ever feel alienated? And if so, how do you deal with this?
Yeah, of course. How can I not feel alienated? Because I'm a genius, and geniuses usually feel alienated. I deal with it about rage and kicking over things and destruction.
What do you hope to accomplish with your life's work?
Well, I hope to accomplish... Well, it's already a fact. I'm a young legend. And at this point, if I were to die tomorrow, I'll go down in history as among the greatest legends of all time. And I hope to make persons think that it's okay to be different.
I understand. Now, in this attempt to make others believe that it is okay to be different, you have told me several times already that there are often others that are opposing you, certain persons, as you will, who are making life difficult for you. How would you describe these persons, without naming anyone specific, because I know of some of your personal enemies? However, what is it about them that makes them try to keep you down, to keep you in a struggle, Rayford? Is it their own fault? Are they...
Enviness. It's absolutely all their fault. They're pathetic pieces of garbage. They're so empty in their worthless lives that they need to try to make themselves elevated, and the way they do it is by trying to take down who they know is greater than them.
So would you say that you are a prophet or messenger of sorts? You're enlightened in a sense, in a way that they cannot be?
Well, I've been called prophet from time to time. But, you know, when you say the word prophet, you're stepping over to spiritual territory. And I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus. But, you know, a prophet, but not in the sense that about God. I believe in God, and I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor. My prophecy is that it's okay to be different. It's all right not to be like everyone else. If 50 persons go west, you can go east.
Yes, I see. Now, does this mean that you're more, not to touch on the same question again, but more enlightened than the average persons, and that's perhaps why they try to keep you down, Rayford?
I'm absolutely 1,000 times more enlightened than the average nitwit out there. I'm very enlightened. And yes, that's part of their enviness against me.
Now, this enlightenment, would you say that it is endowed upon you, or that you are a self-made enlightened man? Do you think, in other words...
Yeah, I understand the question. Is it natural, spiritual? It's a mixture. It's a natural thing, and it's also a spiritual thing.
Do you think that others, and even perhaps those who oppose you, may be able to reach this state of enlightenment, this idea that you don't have to be like the rest of society, you don't have to be oppressive and run on the hamster wheel? In other words, can everyone else create and be different like Rayford Faulkner? Do the rest of humanity, do we have at least the potential, even though we may not at this current point possess it?
Well, yes and no. Some persons have the potential and others don't. And those that do, they cannot obtain it like I can. However, they can get to understand and have knowledge that it's okay to be different.
So, in other words, it's a kind of caste system, as if people are born a certain way and can only reach a certain level of knowledge and enlightenment, and you happen to be at the top, and there are others who are potentially like you, and there are those who are not.
Right, but it's not only about being conceived into this lousy, pissy world this way. It's about gaining knowledge from day-to-day existence.
I see. And how would you define God, the God that you speak of?
Very mysterious. That's probably the biggest word. I mean, that's probably the word I would use most to describe the God. Now, when you say God, a lot of persons have their own connotation of God. Some persons, a chipmunk is a God. This is a God. You have to be more specific. My God is the God of heaven.
Yes,
no,
Rayford.
My God is the God of heaven. And I would describe that God as being mysterious.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to know, what your personal connotation was that you associated with the word. Because you're absolutely right, other people do... it conjures up different thoughts and concepts for everyone, and I just wanted to know what the legend's personal belief in this higher being, what it was, how you define it. And it seems to me that you're suggesting...
Spiritual and mysterious.
Yes, it seems to me that you're suggesting that in its mysteriousness we cannot completely conceive of it. Would I be correct to assume that?
Yes.
Okay.